time to get out and play. AMSOIL delivers the ultimate protection for your vehicles and equipment. Fast, free shipping right to your door. Spend $100 and shipping is on us. Order now at amsoil.com.
So the bike died yesterday going down the road, and had a few little things here and there I've had to work on and adjust. But the stator, which is in here, this is the wire. It actually runs up to this yellow wired plug here. These 3 yellow wires are to each essentially lead of the stator. Comes in, and then you've got usually some problems here with some corrosion. Let me show you what that looks like in here. So this is an extremely common problem, that one of these terminals is not getting a good enough connection. You see where it's gotten hot, melted the plastic there, and it's corroded over, and it's not getting a connection, so it's not going to charge. So now what I'm going to do is test between each of the leads, and then make sure the stator is good, make sure that it works out. And if it shows up good, then we'll know it's at least good, and maybe this is just our problem. A lot of people say the way to fix this is just cut this plug out and direct wire it, that the resistance coming through these terminals becomes high at high RPM, and burns through them. And as soon as it doesn't make a good connection, it gets a little worse, a little worse, a little worse, until now it's not charging at all, and literally you're running on the battery until it dies. All right, guys, so I did a bunch of testing, and the electrical system on here, the stator was supposedly replaced, but the wiring up there looks original. I don't know if it got replaced down in the inside and sectioned together or something, I don't know. We'll find out when we tear it apart. All right, guys, got the bike flipped around here, and side cover pops off pretty easy. It's just 2 little pins that actually pop into here. Just take those little clips out, and then 1 nut down there, and then they'll pop off. So now I'm actually going to take off this part of the side cover here. Everything else should be in today to get it put back together, so we'll see. All right, guys, so this is the clutch mechanism here, and it does have an O-ring. This top piece where the starter engages, these bolts do have to come out because they'll hold onto this main piece. So there is a bolt hidden under here, so that does have to come off. I'm hoping the new kit does come with this gasket. The part that stayed on was the driest spot. You can see it's pretty dry up through here. This is the wet spot. So that looks like it would probably seal back. I really don't have to deal with it. Luckily, this is a easy part to get on and off once you pop that cover off, if it did leak. So, but you definitely don't want this gasket to leak. But I laid this down like this with all the bolts in it. Everything's back where it's supposed to be. Any oil is obviously down in there. And this is just your starting mechanism from your starter there that cranks the motor over. So we don't want any of that to move around. So now it should be ready to take this case off and get that bolt out and see what happens. All right, now let's see what happens here. Oh yeah, there we go. So that gasket looks like it's still gonna be good on there. At least the portion I can see. We'll get it on off of here. Slowly work it around. All right, slowly worked it off of there. And I think I know what the problem is. Look at that. So this is what looks to be a new stator. And the stators, when you buy them, come with a brand new wire that goes all the way up to that plug. And the plug up there was fried, as you saw, so I replaced the wires. That's the reason it quit charging. And the reason that this stator is probably not charging is probably because any one of these is grounded to the case because it's worn through or whatever has gone on there. But it looks like the new stator was attached at those wires right there, instead of just running the wire that comes with the stator up to the plug, which comes with the stator, unless some kind of stator was bought without all that, and I doubt it because I haven't seen anything like that. They've all came with really long wires and the plug and the clips and everything you put on. So it's literally just from there up to there under the seat, which I pulled it off the side just to monitor it because I didn't want it to get hot. That's pretty wild. Another thought, here's the other part I really don't get. Why attach them together here? Why not just run the wire on up through this rubber plug and attach them anywhere in all of this big space of wires if you really don't want to go all the way to the plug? I mean, you could really do it right outside the case. Why attach them inside the case under oil? I mean, I don't know. So if you'll look right here, a little shiny spot right there, that's exposed metal, which means, well, there's some wire hanging out right there. There's some other spots here, which means any of these pieces of exposed metal, and this looks to be soldered, and then this kind of looks like that liquid electrical tape or whatever it is. It's all stuck together. But any spot, if any of these touch any of the case, it grounds it out, and then there's no more charging, or at least there is trying to charge, but it's just sending it all directly to ground. So this stator is probably completely fine. The wires are just messed up. All right, guys, parts are in. So these are from Caltrick, which is the same company that made the battery on this thing. This is the new rectifier / regulator. This is the new stator, and you can see that it is the exact same stator that was in there. And you see by this, the yellow on those wires kind of have an odd color, and they match exactly this one. So it was a new Caltrick stator that was on here, and then it got screwed up because of that. Now this is how they come. Brand new wire, right? And then they go up and they plug on. Now if your plug is messed up, which happens more often than not, it's because these plugs are really too far open. So I'm gonna tighten these before I ever click them in and make them really hard, snap in, and make them really good and tight. But they actually send you, this is the female side, they actually send you the male side so you can replace the male one on your bike because it probably got burned up. So I don't actually need this because the male side is actually here. Okay, because I'm doing a whole new charging system, which is the stator and the rectifier, and these just click together. So that's all they do. They just click together up here and then go down. The rectifier's back here. The other two wires just plug into the bike and feed power back to the battery, into the bike, and everything else. So there we go. So we just got to get these bolted up and bolted in and get it back together, and we got the new gasket. So let's get started. All right, new stator's in. Wires ran through here. Got one little plug there, another one here, and that will go up through the bike. So now I'm gonna get the gasket. I'm actually gonna add a little bit of this weather strip gasket adhesive to it, and it'll completely seal it up. All right, all done. Everything's bolted back up, and I went ahead and fired it up, let it run for just a few minutes just to see if we're gonna have any leaks, and I think we're good. All right, so right now it's on 14, and this is just on choke, so it's on high idle right now. So that's pretty good. Like it's regulating to right at 14 volts, so that is perfect. So we actually have a bike that's charging now, and the headlight does seem a little brighter. All right. All right, guys, don't forget you can get $25 off of ceramic coating, the Armor Shield 9 from Avalon King.
by putting HiRevz 25 in at checkout at avalonking.com.